So yeah, you read that right. Let me explain. Alright guys, so this video is going to be kind of just a raw talk to the camera, update you guys on something that's been going on with me and just bring you up to speed and kind of let you in on something that's been going on semi behind the scenes and just something that didn't necessarily go as planned, and just really want to bring you up to speed and get you into my head. And I think there's definitely a piece of this that's going to be applicable to you and that everybody can learn from my mistake. So with that said, let's just get into it. So as you guys know, I'll say real quick in case this video reaches any of my non-audience, I mainly do Amazon FBA and selling my own products on Amazon, creating my own brands and doing all of that. That's the main reason that people subscribe to me. I did make a video probably about a month ago or so now breaking down 6 income streams. And what happened is I decided to cut one of them. So this is going to result in about 60, the current run rate of this was the current run rate was a $61,000 per year if it had continued, but I decided to just cut this income stream. Of course, $61,000 is a lot of money. It's still sad for me to see that go. It doesn't feel good, but I think it was ultimately the right decision, and I want to explain what that was and why I ultimately made that decision and how it feels both good and bad. So obviously, the biggest reason I ever got into entrepreneurship in the first place was really that I don't want to deal with people. Like, that sounds really weird. That sounds like super antisocial. That's not necessarily what I mean, but I don't want to have to report to anybody. I want to be able to do whatever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want. Even something like YouTube, if I don't post a video in 2 weeks, sorry, I need to be able to do that. Like, I'm all about having this free lifestyle where I can not have to report, not have to feel like I have to do anything. That's kind of the point. That's why I'm so in love with entrepreneurship, because it allows you to craft your ideal lifestyle. Maybe you're Gary Vee and you want to go have, meetings, planes, all of that 24/7, but I don't think that's me. And I like to just have I'm going through a simplifying phase. I've been obsessed with minimalism lately, getting deeper into that and just applying that to my lifestyle as well as physical things. So that's where this came out of. Anyway, so what income stream was it? You could probably guess if you watched that video based on what I just said. I started to work with some established brands. So I was basically agency style, helping real big time multi-million-dollar brands with their Amazon presence. So if you think about it, this is an incredible idea, and this is something that you guys who are learning Amazon FBA could potentially do this on the side as a way to get some little cash flow going. Or for me, if I wanted to go all in on this method, I have no doubt whatsoever this could be a 7-figure business model of me running an e-commerce agency, helping brands with their Amazon presence and all of that type of, not only Amazon, but just helping established companies take it to the next level. I could totally do that. But the thing is, I don't want to. I didn't like it. I was working with a couple of brands and I got some tremendous results for them, but it just never felt good. It was sapping my mental energy to be able to put it into my own things. And I think if I look back over this year, it was probably like the biggest, maybe one of the biggest entrepreneurial mistakes I've maybe ever made. Because it took up so much of my mental burden. It was like the ultimate 80-20 moment of you should cut that out, because it was taking up more than 80% of my mental capacity of just what I can deal with on my plate for well under 20% of my income. And it just wasn't making sense. The way that it was supposed to be, when I got into it, it was supposed to kind of be me in a more advisory type of role. Me steering the ship, saying, well, we need this, this, and this, and then other people, their team, this agency's team that I was working alongside with would have these resources to implement everything that I could just kind of lay out as this is the way, these are the things that could really move the needle. And they did. The problem was that it really ended up just falling on me way more than I would have ever wanted. I don't think I would take that for any amount of income. Back to what I was saying, I am all about freedom, obviously entrepreneurship. And if somebody told me right now, I'll pay you, X per month to, basically work on my business. I mean, that I almost can't think of a number where I'd want to accept that unless it was just absolutely absurd, because it takes away my capacity to focus on my own businesses or on YouTube, multiple businesses, not just my Amazon, but on YouTube, on helping my students and on everything. And it just turned into such a sap for my energy where I felt like I had no creative juices left. Even if I wasn't necessarily putting that much time into the actual detailed work, just having that other thing in the back of your mind, the more you have stuff that's just kind of like adding up in the back of your mind, the less you're going to be able to really be effective where you want to be effective. And it's like mental clutter, and I feel like I'm applying that to my living space as well, which I may have to do like I want to talk about that and maybe a video kind of soon, because I feel like it all plays in, your mental space, your living space. It's like this stuff all affects you. This is something I feel really strongly about: where you live, what people you surround yourself with. These things make you who you are. Like, it's not like they influence you. Like, you are the people around you. You are the things around you. You are the stuff in the back of your head. You are the worries that you have to do that thing, and like you're worrying about it. So at least for me, that stuff affects me a lot when I know something in the back of my mind I have to do, and it takes away from me being effective where I want to be effective. So it caused me to massively drop the ball on so much of my own stuff. And I don't even think I realized it for a long time, because it was just it was so in the background, and it was so like seamless, but it just sucked the life out of me for a good portion of this year, if I really look back, which is why now I feel like this was such a tremendous mistake. I haven't been in a good rhythm with my own business. I haven't been in a good rhythm with YouTube. It's just like I'm not on a good schedule, so I need to cut things. I need to pare down. I'm trying to free up space so then I can go deeper and more focused on the things that I really want to. I've said for a long time that I want to start this health brand in a space that I'm personally extremely passionate about, and I still want to do that. I said that a long time ago now, that I was bummed out by the fact that I realized I've spent so much time sort of working on businesses that are not necessarily my passion. And for the long term, you have to be passionate about it or you will burn out. And I want to shift towards that. But now that's just been completely on hold all this time. And it's like, shit, what am I doing? So, hopefully a year from now, when people think of me or my YouTube, it's like that brand and like makes videos. And I would like these few pillars of work to be like the main thing, rather than just like, can I do that? Can I do that? Can I do that? And it's funny because when I had one stream of income and I started YouTube and all this stuff, then all of a sudden I was like, wow, I need like this one and this one and this one and this one. And now I'm almost romantic about the idea of having only one or maybe just two, for example. But like, there's something so beautiful about just having the thing that you're very focused on and going very deep on it. So that is the one that I cut. Again, it was so much potential with working with clients. It's not that this business model doesn't work. Like, they saw huge results, and it's something that I could hire my own team. I could have interns. I have a lot of people that are learning Amazon in my community that could help me build out an agency. I just don't think it's what I want to do right now, and I definitely don't want to be managing clients myself with complaints and emails and calls and weekly meetings, or like, oh shit, this is wrong, you need to do something, what's going on here? And like, it's just absolutely like not what I would ever want. It's not something I would ever necessarily want to pursue. But think about this for a second, which is why that income stream ever even existed. It is crazy because I myself and businesses like mine or yours, or people, some of my students that are getting to like, say they've gone from 0 to 20K a month or 50K or 80K a month. That's amazing and that's great. But what happens when you take a business that's already at the $5 million mark, and you apply the stuff that we are talking about here on this channel, or the stuff that I teach, you apply that to these bigger businesses, and you could make one little tweak and it creates $1 million on their balance sheet. Like, that is not unbelievable, because they're operating at such a level and they don't know these little details that us on the ground are doing. So it's a bulletproof business model. Like it works. I just, it's just not for me. Like I don't want to do it. And I want to get to a point where I'm focusing on things that I want to do. Like I'm getting to a point where it's less, like I don't even really, I just don't want to chase money. I definitely don't. Like I have what I need, you know, like I have what I need to be happy. And I think I just want to focus more on doing things that I genuinely want to do, even if that ends up meaning making less money. Like that's fine. It obviously shouldn't be just about trying to make as much money as possible ever. It should be about trying to be as happy as you can and trying to do what you want to do, even if that means making less. But, you know, I have more than what I need. And I'm not saying that in a way like, oh, I have so much, I could just retire. I definitely can't just retire right now. But I mean, I could take my foot off the gas to some extent and still like be fine, you know? So that's kind of what I mean is I would rather just do what I want to do and double down in there and focus on just being happy and, you know, creating amazing content and value and working on my own a couple businesses rather than just trying to do everything. And that's kind of where I'm at. Oh, one other thing is part of the reason, the biggest client, without getting into too many of the details, I don't know what I necessarily should or shouldn't say necessarily, but the reason that this was particularly of interest to me was because this was a brand roughly in the space that I'm talking about that I'm personally interested in. And it was from the founders of a company that is valued at around a couple billion, that's with a B, $billion. This is a new brand of theirs, the same founders starting a new brand. So I was sitting in the room with these co-founders worth, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars each, and they're coming to me for my Amazon knowledge, and I could just soak up so much from them, and it was amazing. And that's why I stuck with it and kind of had one foot in the door, one foot out through the whole time, because I was like, well, this is an incredible connection, and who knows how that could, you know, play out in the future in some way. You know, who knows if they were like, I don't know, if I start a podcast and I get them on it, or if I, you know, if I start my own health related brand and they were to invest in it or partner in some way. Like, I don't know. It was just hypothetical stuff, but that was something that still, it was an incredible experience to just be around people like that. It's the highest level people I've personally been around in terms of just high level entrepreneur focused killer people. So that was a huge reason why I gave it such a chance. But ultimately, even given that, and even given the fact that I was making money doing it, it was just not making me happy. And I don't think that it was worth it for the long term. So while I'm not happy to give up what was currently at the rate of the 61,000 or whatever is probably in the title, I'll calculate it exactly, but that's what it was working. That was what the current like month was playing out to. If I didn't blow it up, which I decided to just blow it up on good terms, nothing weird. But yeah, that's where I'm at is, so I guess the lesson that could be applied to you guys is like, shit, do like, I'm going to contradict myself for a second too, because I understand when you're at the beginning, like you got to do something that works. You got to make money. You got to do stuff that works. So in the beginning, what motivates you might just be the fact that it can make you money and it works. And that's great. That's fine. That's what I was doing 3, 4, 5 years ago. You know, just that raw hustle that I talk about, the things that are needed in the early days. But for the long term, you have to realize that you will burn out doing something that you don't love and working on something that you don't care about. So try to focus in on the things that you really want to do for the long term, even if it means less money. In the long run, I think it will be better. And not that I did this for that long, but ultimately it was a mistake. I think you guys can learn something from it. I think I've definitely learned something from it. I'm just going to be even more diligent about how I allocate my time and who I allow to, you know, have my resources available and things like that. So yeah, it's been a huge lesson for me, a big mistake, but ultimately it's all good. I don't want this to sound like I'm complaining. You know, it was an amazing opportunity. Again, not saying that's not a lot of money, but it was important for me to walk away from it because I guess I didn't say this, but this is kind of the point, is that the lack of focus elsewhere costed me money, right? Like I probably would have made that back in way more if I had just not lost all that energy and put all that energy back into my own stuff. It would have been net more money and less to deal with. So yeah, you know, think about that. Let me know in the comments if what you think about it and how this maybe applies to a situation in your life. I know this is maybe a little different. I feel like I say that in probably almost every video. Oh, this video is a little different. But again, I don't think I've made one quite like this where it's just me kind of like letting you guys in on this. But yeah, that's about it. That's the news. Let me know what you think. Please do, if you've watched this far, hit the thumbs up button. Makes a big difference. I really appreciate those of you that do that, and any of you that watch this far. But if you watch this far, come on, why are you not hitting it? It helps the channel. I'm hoping to grow this. Again, if this video somehow reached outside of my audience, which I've had trouble doing on YouTube lately, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. Most of my channel is around Amazon FBA and business, entrepreneurship, but really in general, I think it's just about chasing a better life and getting what you really want and really squeezing this to the fullest, because I personally can't believe that people just coast through life and don't go for what they want. So that's what it's really about. Amazon FBA is just a means to an end. It's a way to make money, but what is your real goal beyond that? Obviously, it's something bigger. Your goal is not just to make money on Amazon FBA. You have a bigger goal. So this is just a piece in the puzzle. It's an amazing path. If you want to learn more about Amazon FBA, check out all the past videos on the channel. Get into the entrepreneurship Facebook group for free in the description. If you're ready to really take it to the next level, there is my Zero to Brand program, which teaches you absolutely everything A to Z, everything you'll need to know. That's linked in the description as well. And also, I'll give one other plug I haven't said in a while, is that those of you that are interested in the life optimization and on top of just business, is I have a biohacking and health Facebook group as well. I'll link that one in the description of this video if you're interested in all the wacky hacks and diet and supplements and all the weird stuff that I do to try to optimize, you know, sleep and all this stuff as much as I possibly can. There's a group for those of us that are interested in nerding out like that. I'll link that as well. So thank you so much for watching, especially if you got this far. Wow, I can ramble a lot. I always think it's gonna be a 3-minute video and then it turns into like 20. So thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Just got this Tufton Needle king size mattress.